fight? Are we still in love? Why if they alright, baby? Can we still try? Tell me that we'll be fine. Are we still in love?
Hi everyone, welcome back to another installment of the Black Bonnet Series. I just want to thank you guys again for, of course, watching, supporting, just doing what you guys do, sharing even. It has been an amazing ride and I am so excited. A reminder, please join the BB Live panel every Sunday at 7 p.m. right here on YouTube Live as we discuss the topics of the week with you guys and just answer some questions that you guys may have for us, see your comments, and just for you to interact with us in real time. My panelists is Chanel, Schwartz, and Tate, and me, your host. Okay, so let's jump right into today's topic, okay? And funny enough, this topic I was actually gonna make I was gonna release it right after the topic I made about, you know, it be your own homeboys. But then I thought, back-to-back heavy topics, relax, okay? Do one at a time. So because of that, I postponed it to this week. So let's get right into today's topic, okay? And today's topic is Black boy joy / Black male trauma. And I wanted to have this topic because, yes, this show is adhered towards, you know, it's catered towards my Black women. For us to just have a space to let our hair down, put on our BB bonnets. If you haven't gotten your BB bonnets, click down below in the link to get some free shipping on your bonnets and your hoodies, okay? People are loving this merch, okay? I give you quality stuff. Don't play yourself and don't get it. Do not play yourself and not get it. Okay, but yeah, you know, I created this space so that Black women could just feel welcomed and be seen and feel heard. But then I realized some Black men watch the show as well, and I need to have an episode catered to you guys in hopes to help you guys as well. And as much as, you know, women in the community have spoken up against, you know, things that we disagree with that Black men do, I also wanted to give an opportunity to just go back to the origin of why Black men are the way they are. And because the truth is, you can't move forward with your future if you don't know your origin story. And I figured that it's about time we discuss that. Okay. So as we jump right into the Black male trauma episode, I felt that, like, I've noticed a lot in the Black community that, you know, Black men are expected and there's that pressure to be a man. But the truth is, there's that pressure to be a man, but what happens when a Black man feels that they have failed that duty, they have failed that responsibility of being the provider, being the protector, being the shield, being strong? You know, what happens then? Like, what does that create within the Black man? And during my research, I realized that, you know, the truth of the matter is that Black men, sadly, as well as Black people in general, we have all inherited trauma. For those that don't know, trauma can leave a chemical mark on a person's genes, which can be passed down to future generations. So basically what that's saying is that trauma is inherited. You know, it can be passed down from generation to generation. So when we still talk about slavery, a lot of African Americans still have that traumatic gene that they're still experiencing and living with till this day. And basically what that means is that, like, the trauma doesn't cause a mutation in your genetics. It just means that it alters your genes, which is known as epigenetics, which is a new it's a new field that a lot of people are studying right now, epigenetics. So basically, epigenetics controls the way your genes are expressed. It AKA just means it affects your behavior. It affects why you are the way you are, why it affects your health, your well-being, your mental health as well. So when people say slavery was in the past, you're white. You're white. Candace Owens, I'm looking at you. You're white. Okay? Or you are Black or want to be white. Because the truth is, slavery, sadly, it never stopped for those that it impacted the most. But yeah. Okay. So given that black people in general, but specifically black men, have inherited trauma, it begged the question, like, what kind of trauma have they inherited and how has that affected them? For one, the kind of trauma that they have inherited, through genetics and through ancestral beings, sadly, is the trauma of seeing their wives being raped during slavery times, being separated from their families and feeling powerless, as well as being sold as basically sex items during slavery and after slavery to, the wives of white slave masters. That's all trauma that they have inherited. Now we fast forward that to present day, and the kind of trauma that they have inherited could, be from either physically experiencing it or seeing it being done to someone that's close to them. Prime example, domestic violence. Seeing your mother, being beaten is a trauma that they have inherited by seeing it. You know what I mean? So those are traumas that affect the black male on the daily basis that they don't even realize, like they don't think about. And the way it comes across now in today's lens, because I'm not excusing the certain behaviors of black men. I will never do that. However, doing this research made me understand them a lot more. It made me understand that, like, sometimes the things that black men do, it's not even to spite black women. It's not even to spite the women that care about them. It's just because they're in a lot of pain and don't know to seek help. And it's no hidden fact that, like, when it comes to mental health within the black community, it's a struggle for us, one, to admit that we need help and to then seek help, especially with black men. 56-74% of black males are exposed to traumatic events, but sadly, a lot of them will not or do not seek the help that they need to deal with it. Because again, in the community, you're meant to be the man. You're meant to just handle what's being thrown at you, brush it off, and keep walking. So that affects the way black men deal with other people, especially dealing with women. So with that being said, of inherited trauma, during my research, one thing that really shocked me is one of the ways where those traumas are being expressed in day-to-day language. And I didn't even realize it because I have grown up around multiple races. I've grown up in the hood, in the suburbs, you name it, I've grown up in that area. And hearing the language now and seeing it on paper, I'm like, holy crap. That's an example of how trauma looks in today's language. I would never have known or never have guessed, especially coming from the words coming from a black man. And an example is, a lot of times when I know people that have grown up in the hood or have been around people that have, experienced the prison system, you've heard this a lot. At least in jail, blah, blah, blah. At least in jail, I had a bed. At least in jail, I had food. At least in jail, I didn't have someone yell. You've heard that phrase of, well, at least in jail. That right there is an example of trauma, in the sense that, like, now with the generation, they have developed tendencies that do not allow them to maintain self-sufficiency, accountability, and responsibility for oneself and family. Now you are pushing it off to, well, the white man just wants me down. That's trauma right there. And I have heard all throughout high school, I heard a lot of black men say this, that, well, what's the point of working for the white man? They just want you down anyway. Trauma, inherited trauma from your ancestors. It's in your genetics. So whenever you hear a black man say, well, the white man just trauma, or even a black woman say that, trauma. Whenever you hear a black man say the words, I'm just happy I just woke up this morning, trauma. You want to know why we're just happy we woke up this morning? Because back in the slavery times, who knew if you'd wake up? Trauma. And this phrase, funny enough, is very prominent in the Black community, which I didn't even know was traumatic, because till this day I still say it, and I feel like I'm still gonna continue saying it. But this phrase, let go and let God, did not know that was trauma. I did not know that was a phrase that was, created as a way to deal with traumatic events. That phrase was a coping mechanism. I did not know. I just thought it was, Christian thing. I just thought, stuff that Black folks do, You'd be like, what, I can't handle this situation right now. I'm going to just let go and let God. Hallelujah. I've sincerely, to this day, and that's why I know I'm not going to stop saying it, because it's part of me to just let go and let God. We've seen the phrases. We've seen it plastered on Instagram. We've seen it be decorative, tapestries. We've heard that phrase so many times. And now doing this research, seeing that as one of the behaviors and thoughts of people who have been through traumatic events, I'm like, well, goddamn, that's a lot, And so for Black men, dealing with all this pressure and this belief that you guys are meant to be the providers. You guys are meant to be the protectors. And I know I say this a lot, but doing this research, it low-key made me want to, change my diction around saying this phrase of, Black men have dropped the ball. Because doing this phrase, I've realized that, since slavery times, it's been depicted that you guys dropped the ball. Now, I'm not saying y'all haven't, because end of the day, yes, slavery did end a couple of years ago. Some of y'all could still change a couple of y'all behaviors. I'm not gonna let y'all just slide through like that, because some of y'all really have continued to drop the ball and continue to bash Black women. But having the pressure of feeling like you have to protect the community, but being stolen from your families, and having that traumatic event being passed on to the generations after you, it's like, damn, y'all need to go to therapy. Because that's a lot of burden to carry. And not just that, but that burden and feeling like every single time you can't protect a Black woman, or every single time you can't provide for the family, it turns into this bitterness and this rage that now has metabolized into degrading Black women. So, and I want to say this very, 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 very clearly, okay? Black men, you can't continue to do that. Go get the help you need to begin healing your genetics so that your son doesn't have to suffer the same way you did. So that your son doesn't have to feel like he's a deadbeat and he dropped the ball. Does that make sense? Go get the help that you need so that the future generations can change. Because it really does start with us. Because sadly enough, we have to start our process of healing the genetics that have been passed down to us for God knows how long. God knows how many years. God knows how much trauma our genes carry. And the really annoying and really sad and heartbreaking fact is that because this trauma, I'm just going to call it the traumatic gene, lives in all of us and lives in, Black men as well, the way it is showing itself in day-to-day language, in day-to-day life, is the angry Black man. Is the toxic masculinity. That's how that trauma. So whenever you see a Black man having that toxic masculinity, that's that trauma speaking, baby. That's that trauma of feeling like I can't provide. I am not enough. So therefore, I have to do X, Y, and Z. in order to prove that, you know, I am that man, in order to cope with this PTSD that I am experiencing of feeling like a failure, of letting down my family, letting down my loved ones, letting down those that are around me, not being the man that society expected me to be as a black man. You know, and this quote, it struck me heavy when I was doing the research for this. And sincerely, black man, please be open. I should have said this before I even started the conversation. Please be open to what I'm saying right now, because it is a lot for you guys to hear. It's a lot for you guys to unravel and unpack, knowing that the way you are isn't even sometimes by choice. It's by trauma. You know, it's a lot to hear, but even though it's a lot to hear, you also have to make the decision to start that process of healing and repairing, you know, because genetics, just like it can be altered, you can alter it back to something that's healthier, something that's less traumatic for your offspring, for your children, because the gag is your daughter's also gonna get that traumatic gene as well, because the girl gonna be black. And this quote really struck me, and it goes, I think on an unconscious level, black men are more upset with themselves for failing time and time again. And this quote came during, of course, like I said, my research, and the author was speaking about the way black women are demeaned in the hands of black men. And she said this in the context of the fact that black women, even though we also have the traumatic gene within us, we have chosen not to let it hold us back, and we have chosen to make the efforts to heal and make the efforts to educate ourselves and others around us. It's no hidden fact that black women are the most educated women in race in America. We are the ones that carry the most degrees in this country, as well as we are the leading entrepreneurs within the black community as well. So black women, we are doing our damn thing, okay? But seen as a black man who's experienced trauma and is still dealing with it and feeling like they don't have the freedom to ask for help, and B, make the effort on their own to get help, it is not manifested into anger towards black women, you know, and now enter the bashing black women, the you know, calling black women ugly, the colorism, you know, that is what has not manifested, the assaulting and raping of black women. It comes from that trauma and that anger that you failed, quite frankly. And I don't want this episode to be an episode that looks like I'm bashing black men, because that is not my intent whatsoever. My intent sincerely is to help you guys understand why, you know, black women, A, say the things we say about you. B, to make you guys understand that some of the things that you do that you may not see, that you may think is completely okay, is not to other people, because we can kind of sense that the anger you have towards women within your community is not healthy. And it's time for that to be fixed, because sincerely, as much as I say black men have dropped the ball, I do have a sliver of hope that eventually I will pick it back up again, because thankfully I have amazing male friends around me that I'm like, okay, so there's hope. Like, the male friends I have around me, I'm like, okay, so there's hope. You know, maybe someone just has to tell you and educate you on the fact that it's time to go get help. It's time to start that process of healing, because it can't continue anymore, because the trauma that is within you as a black man has now manifested into this toxic masculinity and this hatred for black women. Like, really ask yourself why you don't like black women. Genuinely, like, if you're a person that doesn't like black women or deems them ugly, ghetto, ratchet, whatever, genuinely ask yourself why that is. What did we do to you? Because on social media, I have seen the hate that you guys spew. And it's like, damn, I don't even do nothing. I just be here chilling, do my makeup, do my research for the show. Like, why are you so mad? Like, the way, and before you guys said, well, it's just certain black men. Stop that. Stop that right now. Because if you guys watched my episode about white women, funny enough, I saw this post on social media that said black men are the white people for black people. And I laugh about that because in the episode I made about white women, there's a certain portion where I spoke about this is how you know you are ignoring the points of black people, especially black women, is when you start saying not all. When you're saying not all, you're basically disregarding the fact that what this woman is saying to you right now. So when black men say, well, not all, you're disregarding what I'm saying to you. And if that's what you're going to do, just log out of the video right now, because it's evident that you don't want to learn, you don't want to change, you're not ready to heal, and you just want to continue being the angry black man. It's not cute. But when you start saying, well, not all black men act like this, no fucking duh. Not all people are obviously going to act like that. We all know that fact. But that's not what we're saying. We're saying this so that you can maybe take, because hey, if you don't, fall into this category, you can take what I'm saying to you and take it to another dude that falls into this category. You can take it to another dude and pass it on so it eventually lands on someone who really will need this message. So stop the not alling. Thank you very much. But the truth is, during on social media, like, black men, you guys continuously, you take out your anger and your frustration and your trauma out on black women. And rather than do that, because we are not your punching bags, okay, we're going to continue to succeed and continue to require you guys to be better. We are. I will never stop expecting that my male friends and my male brothers to be better. I will never stop expecting that of them. Schwartz can attest to that like 100%. The way I push this man, keep in mind he's a lot older than me, I don't care. I will continuously expect the best out of him because he is a black man. So when I am coming to you, bringing this information to you, is because as a black woman, I am pushing you to be the best, to do better and be better. Because one day you are going to have a child, whether you like it or not, you're going to knock a girl up. Do you really want your child to experience the same trauma you have? To carry that same anger? If you do, you're unhealthy. You are a demon. If that's really what you want for your child. Sincerely, not cute. But if you want to do better for, if not you, for them, start that process of healing and forgiving. If you got to go to church, go to church. If you got to crack open the Bible, crack open that Bible. Speak to God. And reach out to a damn therapist. If you have the resources, do it. Now, thanks to COVID, I believe there are some free therapist, services. But do so. Reach out. Speak. Because sadly, and this is one thing I think I stated this in the episode about sexual assault, is that you can never, no matter how much we want to hear the apology, we can never hear the apology from those who hurt us. Okay, so no matter how much you want to sit here and expect white folks to apologize, they're not all going to apologize. And even those that do, you got to question if they actually mean it or if it's just performative. So if you're expecting the white person to come and heal you, you're going to be waiting a very long time, because it's never going to come. You have to make the work for yourself. You have to heal the damage that other people have caused on you. So black men, I am hoping that this doesn't fall on deaf ears. I am hoping that you guys choose to do better and start to heal that traumatic gene that lies in all of us as black people, but especially you. Because black women, we are doing the work to do better subconsciously we didn't even realize we were doing the work. But black women, we have done our part to do better. Now, black men, it's up to you to rise up, okay? I still have faith that you guys can actually protect black women the way you said and promised you would. And not just the black women that you like. So, I know this is a lot to unpack for some of you guys. I know it's probably heavy to hear and understand that, like, the trauma and the anger that you feel might not even be for something that you've experienced, but something that your dad experienced that got passed on to you, or something that your grandfather experienced that got passed on to you, or something your mom might have felt that got passed on to you. Okay? So just do better, be better, and I will catch you guys this Sunday at the live panel at 7 p.m. right here on YouTube Live as Tate and Schwartz discuss this topic. I might have a special guest with me as well. We'll see. But yeah, I just really want you guys to do better because I have faith that you will. No matter how much I say y'all drop the ball, I still have a sliver of hope that eventually you guys will do better because it always starts with us. I'm not expecting every black man to get on the same accord, okay? Because what, 34% of y'all still voted for Trump, so I'm just gonna dumb that down to trauma. I'm gonna give y'all that pass. It was trauma. I made you vote for him. But please also don't take this as a joke and try to use trauma as an excuse out of everything. Oh, I cheated on you because I have trauma. Don't do that. Don't do that. Do not take this episode and misconstrue it and manipulate it to fit your own selfish and evil agendas. Like, don't do that. Do the work. Do the work. Start to heal. And remember to click the link below to get your baby merch, you know? Get your bonnets, get your hoodies. Get it for your sister, your loved ones. You can even get it for yourself. Like, I know y'all men have waves in hair. Get the bonnet. Come on. What are you doing? I'll catch you guys next week. And remember, guys, like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. And let me know what you guys think about this episode.